Yes.
It's actually an amendment, so we probably should have an actual vote, right?
Yes, yeah, we need to go to that time. We are live, everybody. This is House of Education, Thursday, May 21st. The committee is meeting briefly to vote on S 313, an amendment that we are making to S 313 just to retrace its footsteps. It came out of the Senate, mainly intent language. It went to House Commerce. They added really a laundry list of work for the AOE to do. We had testimony from the AOE that said that they are in favor of doing that work. We added, and most of that list came from Commerce. We added one piece that asked AOE to work on the issue of the end of the high school completion program within the adult education world, moving to the adult diploma program. And that has created some funding issues and who pays for who to go to a CTE. So we added that, and then we removed the task force of legislators who were going to work on CTE governance, believing that it's kind of an issue that's been studied, and we probably don't need a legislative task force to sort of relitigate that, and especially given all the work that's going on within Act 73 and 955 as it passes. Maybe just a quick walkthrough, if that would be okay.
St. James Office of Legislative Counsel, a walkthrough of your amendment or the underlying Commerce report?
No, I think just our amendment, unless anybody wants to walk through the underlying task that Commerce came up with for the AOE to do. Seeing no enthusiasm for that.
Okay.
I'm happy to pull it up on my screen, but you just did a great walkthrough yourself.
Okay.
Not sure that I have much to add.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull it up?
No, I think just going through the amendment would be fine.
Okay. So your first instance of amendment is to section 5 of the Commerce report, which is a report back to you all on several topics. And in subdivision 2B, there was the phrase, I believe this is related to CTE and actually I can find it. Yes, a pre-intervention pathway for CTE, which is kind of like that mediator or mediator, I guess, position or program that would, if there's conflict between how the law is being interpreted or executed, there would be kind of a clear process for resolving that conflict. What passed out of Commerce said a pre-enforcement intervention pathway that is responsible for providing early state mediation between CTE centers and sending districts. And you have changed that to early stage mediation.
Mm-hmm.
The second instance of amendment is adding to that same section 5 that report back to you all, a recommendation for AOE to recommend to you that adult diploma program participants have access to the educational programs that best serve their needs, including CTE, while also complying with federal and state requirements for adult education. And then how would that be funded? And then the third instance of amendment, you have struck section 8 in its entirety, which was that legislative working group on CTE governance, and just replaced it with the deleted. So you've deleted section 8, and that is your entire amendment.
Any questions? Everybody ready? All right, somebody move.
We did get an email about some comments.
Oh, yes, we did.
Thank you.
Somebody want to
Pull it up.
remind me what that was? There we go.
Did you find it already?
Yep.
Before I did?
All right.
Two places where they suggested.
Okay, so this is section 7 of the underlying bill. Credits or proficiencies. So you may need to pull this up on the big screen for those of us who don't have the whole thing right in front of us.
So just give me a second. Okay, so this is Commerce's report, and
Yeah.
where am I going?
We're going to section 7.
Okay.
Sub A.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to just read something that was sent to us from Patty Comline, who's here with us, who can speak to it if she'd like to. But I say, in little a, credits or proficiencies and grades earned in a course offered within a CTE program approved by the state board shall not be. And so the question is, same with B, credits or proficiencies, comma, earned for a career technical education program approved by the state board. Under that reading, without the comma, the language can be read as interpreting that it could only apply credits or proficiencies specifically identified in a state board rule to qualify. Patty, would you are welcome to chime in from the sidelines here.
Thank you. Patty Collin representing Bethel. And this is particularly from Nicole McTavish from Haddiford, and they all vetted this. And the concerns are, as she stated, well, commas matter. That if without the comma, it could be read as you apply the credits proficiencies earned for career tech ed program approved by the state board. In that case, it would mean that only the credits and proficiencies specifically called out in the state board goal would count. And what happens is schools make agreements with each other like that program. So they're not all listed. The program itself is approved by the state board. The CTE instructors are approved, but each program, each class that they have is not necessarily listed by the state board of ed. So this would mean as long as the CTE is approved by the state board of ed, those credits count, but not by program by program.
All right, so you're saying the comma says that would better indicate that the CTE program itself is approved, whereas without it, it makes it sound like it's the course that has to be approved by the state board rule. Do you have any thoughts on that?
So where are we?
Yeah, where's the comma going?
Grades.
After grades.
Grades to proficiencies and
After
grades.
proficiencies.
Of course, I'm in CTE program.
Oh, are you looking to me?
Sure, you got any thoughts on that?
I have lots of thoughts.
Sure.
Um,
Would you like to share them?
Not really.
Okay.
I think it is, I think you could direct me to do that, but it would only work if you added another comma after state board.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary, as this has been the law on the books for a long time without the commas, because you did have grades. I understand now there's a list. I don't think that necessarily changes the interpretation, and I don't think the field would change that interpretation. But that is, if you're hearing from the field that they would, then I would need to go back and make that change for you.
Yeah. I am frankly comfortable keeping it because you're right, we are just substituting credits or proficiencies in grades for grades. And we didn't need a comma before. So also for the sake of just sort of moving along here, I'm comfortable with the way things stand. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts. Yeah.
Would there be a, Beth, in your eyes, would there be a negative to adding the commas? Would it cause any unforeseen issues?
Would there be a legal negative? No.
I mean, I don't, if that's the case, I mean, these comments are simple, and come back later and do a quick vote.
I mean, we are sort of grammatically, we are changing what has existed as law for a long time. And I mean, you know, I just find it perhaps unnecessary. I don't think it really makes a difference.
Well, I mean, I just think for what it's worth, I mean, I think that explanation makes sense from a grammatical and legal standpoint. Like I think it's fine as is.
If only all of our debates were just about Thomas.
Thomas Mann.
All right,
Clarify.
yeah,
So as you said, the statute before, so when it said grades earned in a course, blah, 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 there was no comma.
Correct.
And before, when it said the credits earned, blah, 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 that's technical language, there was no comma. Essentially, what we did in this amendment or underlying amendment that Commerce did was put in proficiencies because we now have a proficiency-based grading system.
I can't speak to why it was
But
put in.
that's what the change was to add the word.
Add words proficiencies in subsection A credits. Look, I'm not a grammar expert.
I would just say that everything to the left of the word earned doesn't really matter. It's not in a course offered within, and that
Right.
language has always existed.
I'm okay not putting in comments.
Very bad.
The language has existed, but it doesn't always happen. If the student is going to CT within their region, those credits and proficiencies, credits and grades move. But if they go out of their region, they don't always get the credit for the courses. And then this clarified that they would get the credit for the courses if they're going to the CT out of the.
Were they not getting that because of the commas?
They believe so. They believe the commas will now tell them that they have to move the credits. Right now, they don't always accept.
I think what tells them they need to accept the credits now is here. The school board, so in subsection B, starting on page 10, the very end of line 20, the school board of the high school from which the student wishes to graduate. So it doesn't make any distinction over whether it was a sending district within a CTE region or without, or outside of the CTE capture area, shall apply credits or proficiencies earned for a CTE program approved by the state board toward graduation requirements. Previously, it was that the board had discretion as to whether or not to apply them. So this is the change that this is the substantive change in this section that tells school boards, any student that is going to a CTE center that wants to graduate from your high school, you have to apply their credits or proficiencies for any CTE program that's been approved by the state board.
That's pretty clear.
Thank you for taking that.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody want to move that we approve the amendment?
I'll move that we approve the amendment.
All right, let's go for the roll call.
Right, Representative Brady,
Yes.
Representative Brown, yes. Representative Dobrovich.
Yes.
Representative Harple,
Yes.
Representative Hunter,
Yes.
Representative Emily Long,
Yes.
Representative Case Long,
Yes.
Rep McCann.
Yes.
Rep Morgan is absent. Rep Quimby.
Yes.
Representative Conlon.
Yes.
Right. 10-0-1.
All right, would you just sort of find out like the process?
Yes.
Great. Since it's an amendment to some other committee's bill and all that.
Technically, we still have possession of this, though.
Okay. All right. Great, thank you. We are